Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? We are going to study Unit 7, Lesson 4. On a student's book, page number 58. This is a grammar lesson. We are going to study the relative clauses, defining and non-defining. If you want to have more information, you can go to grammar reference on page 130. What do we mean by relative clauses? These are connectors which are used to join sentences like who, that, which, whose, when, where, whom, etc. All these are called relative pronouns, and they are used for joining relative clauses. Let's start with this simple exercise. Choose the correct answer. Read and choose. Mina Samah.
I didn't enjoy the movie which I watched yesterday.
Very good. Thank you, Mina. Second one. Here, this is a contrastive or contrast conjunctions like although, despite of, because, etc. Munir.
The judge sent her to prison the fact that she had very small children. Despite.
Very good. Thank you, Munir. Number 3. Abdullah Al-Falaki.
I can't remember the day we met. I can't remember the day that we met. Sorry, when. When.
Sorry?
When.
When, yes, when refers to time here. So because you have the day, so we use when for time. Thank you. Here, this is a diagram that explains how can we use the relative pronouns. So the relative pronouns are who, which, whose, whom, or that, and we have why, when, and where. We use who for people. Example, the woman who called yesterday wants to buy the house. Which, used for things and animals. Did you see the letter which came today? I love the puppy which is jumping at the kitchen. Puppy, a small dog. Whose, used for positions of people and animals. For positions. He is a man whose opinion I respect. His opinion. So, whose opinion? I deleted the possessive pronoun. She is the student whose handwriting is the best in my class. So, handwriting refers to the student, and the opinion refers to the man. So, whose comes between two nouns man, opinion, student, handwriting. Whom used for people when the person is the object of the verb. The author whose you criticized in your review has written a letter in reply. Notice whom comes after a noun for people and who comes after a noun for people. But who is followed with a verb and whom is followed with a subject and verb. There isn't an object. That used for people, for things and animals. So you can use that instead of who or which. The girl that we met. So that here instead of whom. The girl whom we met in France has sent us a card. So we can use that instead of who, which, or whom. We live in a ground floor flat that backs onto a busy street, or which backs onto a busy street. Do you like the cat that is sleeping underneath the table? That instead of which. Do you like the cat which is sleeping underneath the table? Why refers to reason. لازم يكون في كلمة سبب. Do you know the reason why? Do you know the reason why the market is closed today? When refers to time. So the day when, the time when, the national day when, the day when the concert takes place is Saturday. Where refers to places. This is the house where my son was born. Where comes after a place without preposition. If you have a preposition, you can use which. This is the house in which my son was born. This is the house which my son was born in. So you can use which instead of where, but you must have a preposition in the first or second sentence. What about defining and non-defining relative clause؟ يعني في جملة بيسموها وصلية، جملة محددة أو جملة غير محددة. What do you mean by defining? Defining the clause, you don't use commas. No commas. Necessary information. So the second sentence here, the relative clause gives important and necessary information. You don't use comma. Essential to distinguish which thing or which person we are talking about. I called my brother who lives in Ontario. There is no comma here. It means I have more than one brother and I called the one that lives in Ontario. But if you put a comma here, if you put a comma, I called my brother who lives in Ontario, I put a comma here, it means I have only one brother. So يبقى لما نحط الفاصلة يبقى it doesn't give necessary information. When you don't put a comma, so it's necessary information or it's important. We can use that for defining clause. We can use that instead of who or which. That's the mug, the carpet, which I bought in Paris. That's the mug that I bought in Paris. I didn't know the man who was there. I didn't know the man that was there. So we can use that in defining clause instead of who or which. Relative pronouns can be omitted. يعني ممكن حذف ضمير الوصل في الجملة المحددة. Do you like the song I wrote? Do you like the song that I wrote? Do you like the song which I wrote? يبقى ممكن تحذف ايه which أو that أما يكونش فيه فاصلة. That's the man I like. That's the man who I like. That's the man that I like. That's the man whom I like. Non-defining غير محددة. They come between commas. لازم يكون في فاصلات ما بينهم. Extra information تعطيه معلومة إضافية. Not necessary to distinguish which thing or person we are talking about. My brother who lives in Ontario. So note here the comma before and comma after is older. It means I have only one brother and I'm just mentioning that he lives in Ontario. My brother who lives in Ontario is older. So it means I have only one brother because you have two commas. So this is extra information. It's not necessary. And we cannot use that. ما نقدرش نستخدم that في الفصلة. We cannot say my brother that lives in Ontario is older. طالما في فصلة ما نستخدمش that. We cannot use that instead of who or which. These bikes, which cost a fortune, are made in Japan. We don't say that cost a fortune. Relative pronouns cannot be omitted. You cannot delete. ما نقدرش نحذف relative pronoun لما يكون في فاصلة. My brother who lives in Ontario is older. ما قلتش my brother lives in Ontario is older. We cannot say these bikes cost a fortune are made in Japan. طالما في فاصلة we cannot delete, we cannot omit the relative pronouns who or which. Okay. زي ما شايفين الجملة دي أهي. My sister who is from Chicago visited me last weekend. My sister who is from Chicago visited me. What's the difference in meaning? What's the difference in meaning? Huh? Abdurrahman Madbouli, what's the difference in meaning between these two sentences? My sister who is from Chicago visited me last weekend. My sister who is from Chicago visited me last weekend. So there is a pause here. What's the difference?
In first one, my sister was.
The first one, what does it mean? I have
It means
one sister or more
I
than
have
one?
more than one sister.
I have more than one sister. The first one means I have more one sister, but I'm talking about my sister who is from Chicago, who is living in Chicago. Okay? And the second sentence, Ayub.
It means that he has only one sister.
Yes, he has only one sister, but he's talking about that she visited him last weekend. Thank you. Now, I think that we answered these two questions before. Okay?
Demonstrate.
We've got some new words today. Demonstrate. Demonstrate your product. Demonstrate. Demonstrate to show something clear or to make something clear. Demonstrate means explain. Demonstrate. Demonstrate. The noun demonstration. Demonstrate.
Prominent.
Prominent. Prominent is an adjective. Prominent. Prominent means important, essential, necessary, very important, well known. Prominent. Prominent means important, necessary, essential, basic, very important.
Transatlantic.
Transatlantic. Transatlantic, describing something from across the Atlantic Ocean. Transatlantic. Crossing the Atlantic Ocean or relating to countries on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. So London, New York are transatlantic cities. Yeah, okay, transatlantic.
Resident.
Resident, resident, resident. A person who lives somewhere permanently or on a long-term basis. We are residents in Kuwait. We reside in Kuwait. Resident is a noun, a person who lives somewhere. Resident.
Half.
Half, half. Either of two equal periods of time into which a sports game or performance is divided. So the football match is divided into two halves. The first half and second half. Half.
Tension.
Tension. Tension is a noun, means stress, tension. The state of being stretched tight. And the adjective tense. Tension, worry, stress.
Disappointing.
Disappointing, disappointing, describing the match, describing the game or the event. Did you like the football match yesterday? No, I didn't like it. It was disappointing. I felt disappointed. Disappointing, failing to fulfill someone's hopes or expectations. So the movie, the film, the match was disappointing. I didn't like it.
Zealous.
Zealous, zealous, describing the people. Zealous, having or showing passionate, enthusiastic. So zealous means enthusiastic. Zealous, excited.
Reveal.
Reveal, reveal, to tell a secret. Reveal, to make previously unknown or secret information known to others. She is revealing a secret. Reveal.
Potential.
Potential, potential, natural qualities or abilities that may be developed and lead to future success or usefulness. So potential means natural ability or natural quality, possibility.
Victory.
Victory, victory, an acting of defeating an enemy in a battle, game, or competition. Victory is a noun, victory. So we are going to study relative clause and there are two types: defining clauses and non-defining. In defining clause, they give essential information. There are no commas. And in relative clause, they don't give essential information, and we use commas. I'll never forget the day when I started working here. Marconi, who lived in Italy, invented the first radio. Now, find the relative clause in the three of the following sentences and underline them. Example, look at the exercise number 1. John Logie Bird, who was a Scotch engineer, invented the world's first working television system. This is what? This is the relative clause. Who was a Scotch engineer? Now, find the relative clause in the three following sentences. Underline them. Ibrahim Mukhtar, B.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you answer B? Okay. Lower your hand, please. Amr Mahmoud.
نزلها أستاذ.
Which demonstrated working television products earned him a
What is the relative clause?
which
Demonstrated working television
working
broadcast.
television products.
Broadcasts. Okay, thank you. C. Yusuf Ala.
C. When he made the first
Transatlantic television transmission.
transatlantic
Yes. When he.
television transmission.
Yes. When he made the first transatlantic television transmission from London to New York. Very good. And one of the sentences does not contain a relative clause. Which one doesn't contain a relative clause? Which one doesn't have who, which, where, whose, whom, where, when, why? Yes, Yusuf Sami?
Yes, teacher. C.
And C, you have when. You have when.
D. صح. C.
D,
when
yes.
he.
You don't
D.
have here. You don't have when, where, who. So Bird produced a live, moving grayscale television image from reflected gray light. So here he used the ing or the gerund for joining sentences. So let's check here the answer. And the right answer D doesn't have what? Doesn't have a relative clause. In which two sentences could we leave out the relative clause because they give us extra information but unnecessary information about a person or thing. زي ما ارجع تاني التمرين الاول يا شباب. التمرين الاول هنا اي جمل A B C D في اي جمل هنا بتعطي معلومه ممكن تترك تحذف ضمير الوصل ده وبيعطي ايه؟ بيعطي معلومه اضافيه غير ضروريه معلومه اضافيه. Which one? We could leave, we could delete the relative clause. Hilary?
Which sentence, teacher? I can't see the sentences.
Here, you should have your sentence book in front of you. Exercise 2, in which two sentences could we leave out the relative clause because they give us extra but unnecessary information about a person or thing. From exercise 1, A and D.
The first one, I think.
The first one, yes. What about the second one? Because you have two commas here. You have commas before and after. So the right answer is A and B. In which sentence we need the relative clause because it gives us necessary information about a person or thing. We cannot delete the relative clause or the relative pronoun. Which one? A, B, C, D. Which one? Omar Ahmed?
Yes, C.
Yes, very good. C. The right answer, C. And the second one, or third exercise, we answered a similar question before. What's the difference in meaning between these two sentences? In which sentence does the writer have only one brother? My brother, who is a TV cameraman, lives in Kuwait City. My brother, who lives in Al Wafra, is a teacher. Which one? Which sentence, one or two, does the writer have only one brother? Ahmed Sayed?
One, my brother who is a TV.
So it means I have only one brother. Yes. In sentence one, the writer only has one brother because there are two commas, and this is the relative clause which gives extra and unnecessary information. But the second sentence, my brother who lives in Lover is a teacher, it means I have more than one brother, but I'm talking about my brother who lives in Lover. So there is no comma, or there are no commas here because this is important and necessary information. Thank you so much. Now, complete these sentences using relative clause. هو أعطى لك نص الجملة وبدأ زي ما انت شايف هنا he use who or whose or which or where. عرف الجملة دي. Who is a TV presenter? A TV presenter is someone who. Explain. Mina.
Who presents the weather or the news for the country?
Yes, very good. Yes, a TV presenter is someone who reads the news, is someone who interviews people, someone who works on a range of programs. Very good. An inventor whose. خد بالك كلمة whose هنا is a possessive relative pronoun, and it should come after the someone who possesses, and you have another noun here. An inventor whose complete should not be forgotten. Azidin.
Inventions benefited us.
Yes, an inventor whose inventions complete.
Benefited us.
An inventor whose inventions what?
Benefited us.
Benefited, yes, benefited or are useful, yes, shouldn't be forgotten. Very good. So an inventor whose potential was really realized or ability. So excellent, Mahmoud. Mahmoud said an inventor whose inventions benefited us shouldn't be forgotten. Good. A good radio program is one which complete. Hilary?
A good radio program is one which is transparent and honest.
Yes, a good radio program is one which is transparent and honest. Yes, a good radio program is one which should include the latest news and reports as well as entertainment. Good. A good TV newsroom is where? Newsroom غرفة الإخبارية. A good TV newsroom is where? Where? Here refers to the place. Complete. Abdurrahman Madbouli.
Where we get good informations.
A good TV newsroom is where? Yes.
We get good informations.
Yes, we get all the information. Yes, a good TV newsroom is where TV presenters read the authentic news. Good. Now, you are going to read a story. You are going to read a story about some friends here. They are going to watch a football match on TV, as you see here. Complete this story using who, where, whose, or which. Add any necessary commas ومطلوب منك ممكن تضيف كوما لو ضروري. يبقى so you are going to fill with the relative clause who, where, whose, or which. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to read and complete. Let's listen to Muhammad Majdi.
On Saturday, I called over my friends who live across the street to watch a football match.
Thank you. Ibrahim Abd Nasser.
They brought with them a new friend, John, who has been a new resident
A new
in the
resident?
town.
Thank you.
Who?
Thank you. Subhi.
In the town where we live in.
In the town where. Very good. هنا عندك where ولا which يا صبحي؟ Oh, in the town where. In the town where we live. But you've got here a preposition here صبحي.
in صح.
Yes. طالما انتبهوا يا شباب طالما في preposition in the second sentence you use which for place. امتى اقول يا صبحي where John who is resident in the town where we live without the preposition. Okay, thank you. Let's see عمر محمد عبد الله.
We all wore t-shirts comma بعدين who بعدين
which refers to things here. Which. Okay, which. Thank you عمر. مشاري, which represents our favorite football team.
In the first half, our team felt a lot of pressure and tension, which was a little disappointing to us.
Thank you, Mshari. Okay, good. Let's see. Omar Ahmed.
The team's captain, whose plus comma after.
Yes.
The team's captain, whose زائد comma after crowd.
Yes. The team's captain, whose emotions were raised by the zealous crowd. Thank you. We put a comma here and comma before. Thank you. Okay, Abdurrahman Al-Audi. My friends.
My friends and I, whose were cheering the whole time, watched the match till the very end, celebrating the victory of our team.
Abdurrahman, why do you use whose here? Does whose here refer to position? My friends and I, whose were cheering? Whose or who?
Who?
Who? Yes. My friends and I, who are cheering, were cheering the whole time, watched the match till the very end, celebrating the victory of our team. Okay. So these are the answers again. And your friend said we should put commas before whose and before who in 6 and 7. Okay, now we've got here 3 questions to discuss about football matches. Do you like watching football matches? Why or why not? What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of watching sport on TV instead of watching it live? How do you think different sports have been affected by television scheduling? I'll give you 2 minutes to think. Give me your answers, give me your ideas about the 3 questions. You can raise your hand if you want to answer. Okay? Lower your hand now, think, and then raise your hand when you are ready to answer. كل الشباب نزل ايده دلوقتي، نزل ايدك خالص، فكر في الأسئلة وبعد كده ارفع ايدك تاني. Yes, lower your hand. Think about these questions. I'll give you 2 minutes. Who is ready to answer in full sentences? Don't say short answers. Speak. Thank you, Yusuf Hamdi, for participating in this exercise. You are very ready. Okay, let's listen to Abdullah Falaki.
Do you like watching football match? Why or why not? Yes, I like watching football matches because it makes me happy.
Yes, good. Thank you. Azidin?
Yes, I like watching football matches because it's very interesting sport.
Good. Yusuf Hamdi?
Yes, I like watching football match because I learn a new movements.
Thank you, Yusuf. What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of watching sport on TV instead of watching it live? Some people prefer watching sport on TV instead of watching it live at the stadium. It has some advantages and disadvantages. Let's talk about the advantages of watching sport on TV. Mina Samah?
The advantage that maybe you don't have the price of the ticket for the match, or it's
a cheap.
in another country.
Yes. Yeah. Doesn't cost much money. Yes. Is that one?
So
This
is the advantage.
Yes.
And the disadvantage, it don't give you the feeling that the pitch give you.
Yes, you don't have the feeling of enthusiasm or zealous feeling about zealous around the spectators and the audience in the stadium or at the stadium. Good. Who would like to add something? Larry, what do you think?
I think watching the matches on the TV is good because you can watch the match from the comfort of your home, and it's cheaper. You don't have to buy a ticket. You can watch it for free. But watching the match live gives you the privilege to cheer for your team, and is a totally different experience. While it has some disadvantages that you need to buy a ticket, and usually it's expensive.
Yes, very good. So you are talking about the excitement. You are talking about the cost. What about feeling? What about feeling what? Feeling comfortable and feeling tired. Which one is feeling tired and which one is feeling comfortable? sitting on a sofa and watching the football match on TV, you feel comfortable, you feel relaxed, while in the living room in an air conditioning atmosphere, you don't have the noise of the crowd at the stadium, and you feel tired if you go to the stadium and you wait maybe for 3 hours, and then you walk at during among the crowd of people. So you mentioned that we like watching football matches because it's my favorite sport, or we feel very happy, we feel excited. Here, the advantage is it's cheaper and more comfortable and quieter. We can see the match clearly because of the qualities of the modern media production. Because you can see the football match from smart TV or from different cameras. And the disadvantage is the enthusiasm of sharing the audience and watching the players at the stadium is missing. You don't watch the players live, but you see them from what behind the screen. Sometimes an electric cut may stop us from watching. Oh, we feel disappointed because the light or the electricity went out. لو الكهرباء انقطعت. You feel upset. You cannot go on watching the football match. Here's the third question. How do you think different sports have been affected by television scheduling? يعني كيف المباريات أو الرياضات المختلفة تتأثر من جدولة مواعيد المباريات أو التلفزيون؟ How do you think different sports have been affected by television scheduling? What do you think? عبد الرحمن مدبولي.
يا استاذ معلش بس ممكن تعيد سؤال تاني حضرتك؟
Question C, letter C. How do you think different sports have been affected by television scheduling? Do you think that
some
sports have been affected by scheduling, television scheduling?
اوكي مش عارف الصراحة.
Okay, I'll explain. Let's explain. Abdullah Al-Falaki, what do you think?
Because they must make this abatements completely empty.
Yes. Okay. I'll explain it. For example, here Ilari is he likes the Ahli football match or the Ahli the Ahli team, and for example, Hazim is likes the Malik team, and these two matches come at the same time. You cannot see the two matches at the same time. And maybe there is a football match between Kuwait and Japan, and they are playing in Japan. Maybe there is a different time zone, so you can see the match at night. Maybe it's too late. So here, the times of the matches have been changed to match with the suitable times of TV programs. يعني أوقات المباريات بيتم تغييرها حتى تناسب أوقات البرامج التلفزيونية. أحيانا بتلاقي بيغير مواعيد المباراة حتى تناسب مع المواعيد اللي المناسبة الوقت المخصص للمباريات. مثلا الوقت المخصص للمباريات الساعة 9 بالليل أو الساعة 8 بالليل للقنوات معينة. Television scheduling has added to the popularity of different sports. يعني جدولة المباريات في التلفزيون أضافت شعبية للمباريات، أضافت شعبية للرياضات. مثلا لما تلاقي التلفزيون بيعرض مباريات كرة قدم أكثر من كرة سلة، فشعبية كرة قدم زادت عن شعبية كرة سلة. It has added more finance to sports. طبعا وجود إعلانات في قبل المباراة، وجود إعلانات بين الشوطين، ده أضاف تمويل، أضاف إمداد فلوس للرياضات. It has added more finance to the sports. لأن مثلا لما يكون في إعلانات في بين المباريات، طبعا ده بيزود ميزانية الأندية دي. It has added more finance to the sports. Now, let's have some examples for relative, or some exercises for relative clause and ask question or make negative. Here, the first one, join using who. Second one, form a question. The third one, make negative. Think and answer. Ayub bin Farid.
This man saw the thieves who robbed the bank.
Very good. Thank you. Ilari, form a question.
How long has he lived in Paris?
Very good. Thank you. المدبولي, make negative.
The government dispatched 150 police to restore order. The government didn't dispatch 150 police to restore order.
Excellent, Abdurrahman. Thank you. Let's check here the answer. So the first one, as Ayub said, this man saw the thieves who robbed the bank. We can say who, and هو مطلوب منك who. We can say that. This man saw the thief that robbed the bank. We can delete the relative pronoun. This man saw the thieves robbing the bank. Without relative clause, we can add ing. Second one, Ilari answers the question. He has lived in Paris for 3 years. How long has he lived in Paris? Last one, Abdurrahman Madbouli answered the question. Make negative. The government dispatched 150 police to restore order. The government didn't dispatch 150 police to restore order. Don't forget to delete the 2 letters ed. Okay? I'm going to stop here. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed teaching you this lesson. You are excellent students.